ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलन वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ Verse 111 सामर्थ्यहीनो निन्द्यश्चेत् यतिभिर्विधिवर्जितः निन्द्यते तत्तपोप्यन्यैः अनिशं भोगलम्पटैः. So the difference between this Nirguna Brahma Jnana Vritti and Upasana Vritti has said here. And this Upasaka is not able to, for him it is not a fact, the Aham Brahmasmi, etc. Whereas Nirguna Brahma Jnani, well, definitely when he says Aham Brahmasmi or he has a thought Vritti, Aham Brahmasmi, he is able to see that fact. So he claims himself as a free. He doesn't require any more sadhana to attain moksha. He doesn't require any more sadhana to retain moksha. Both. And therefore, and in fact, because you are already, I am free. I is not available for attainment, I is not available for retainment, I is not available for giving up also. That I happens to be Brahman. And therefore that clarity he has. So he doesn't require any sadhana then to acquire, to retain, etc. Because you cannot lose it. So he doesn't have a fear to lose moksha. In fact, he can challenge God that, well, you take away my moksha. Cannot be, because he is in the form of a God. So anyway, so God is also says, I'm sorry, you are challenging me, but I am not able to do this anyway. Because moksha happens to be the nature. The God, etc., Brahman happens to be the nature of oneself. So, for this person, no sadhanam is required, no means is required. And so he is beyond this Vidhi Nisheda, and that is the topic which is going on here. In between, Vidyaranya took a little diversion from here in verse 108 to 113. And if that portion is not there, well, it doesn't make much difference. But one thing is there, this diversion removes what is discussed in 4, 5 verses, 6 verses, removes the misconception about the Jnani in the heads of people. And that misconception is this, that the Jnani must have, or should have, certain extraordinary powers. And so that is how the Jnani, because Jnani means he is a special person. If he is a special person, he is not an ordinary. So ordinary people will not have anything, no power. Whatever the power everyone has, that is there. But other than that, some extraordinary power definitely a Jnani should have, because he is a special person. Vidyaranya says Jnani do not and need not have any powers. Powers are basically related to a special penance, special type of austerities. which is different from the austerities which is done by the for gaining jnana. So we discussed that. So what is the austerity? I mean, it should not say austerity, but certain discipline. Yes, discipline is required is a certain sensory discipline, a mental discipline, to be able to focus on the subject matter, on the teaching, and he should have a ability for a self-inquiry. That's it. That is tapa, because tapa means tapa alochani. Alochani means to plan, to inquire, etc. And therefore, once you do that inquiry, definitely it leads to jnanam, and therefore tapaha is a jnanam also. Yasya jnanamayam tapaha, etc. And I told you last, I quoted we saw in that bhashyam also, Acharya in the Taittiriya bhashyam, Bhashyakara has clearly mentioned tapaha iti jnanam uchyate, etc. So basically, because the word tapaha comes there, sa tapo tapyata, sa tapas taptva, sa kamo, so kamayata, bahusyam prajaya, etc. etc. There in that section also it comes, in Bhruguvalli also it comes, in Brahmanandvalli also it comes. So anyway, so basically that tapas is there, even to gain jnana, inquiry, self control, self mastery, etc. So that is fine, but it is not a severe austerity. So, but severe austerities, etc., is a different type of tapas that gives certain special powers, and those type of austerities definitely involve a tremendous physical discomfort, and severe type of saguna brahma meditations, and saguna brahma mantra japa, etc. Itself, like a Gayatri Purusharan itself. Like Gayatri Purusharanam means, well, definitely whatever the letters of a Gayatri, they are 24. Multiply 1 crore. So 24 times, 24 crore times you chant Gayatri. It's a big tapas. So when you gain certain powers also, that's for sure. So anyway, a severe austerities, etc., in terms of this is required, then you have special powers. So Vedanta basically requires this type of tapas, sensory discipline, mental discipline, etc., self-inquiry, etc. Anyway, and one can definitely do then shravanam, etc., without distraction and preoccupation. That's the idea. Whatever our tapas is there in terms of a mental discipline and self and sensory discipline is in order to enable the shravanam without distraction and preoccupation. That's it. This is enough. And then definitely one will be able to absorb the jnanam also. As I told you, even to own up also, you need this type of tapas. We have discussed shamaha, damaha, and of course nididhyasanam is required. So these two types of tapas are there, and therefore, jnani may not have, who has not practiced this type severe austerities, will not have extraordinary powers. Yet he is a liberated person. On the other hand, who have done so much of that severe austerities, etc., like even asuras also, described in Purana, etc., and they would have even darshanam. Yeah, Bhagavan appeared before them. And just because you have a darshanam of Bhagavan, so it doesn't mean that you will be liberated. You have to understand the Bhagavan, the very given form, etc. Who is, and the Bhagavan in a given form is ultimately the self, which is formless. One has to understand that identity only releases you, not just darshanam. Therefore, asuras before them, Bhagavan appeared and gave them boons and everything. Still, asura remains asura only. So we should understand, people have this kind of a notion. When I got a darshanam, many people told me also, Swamiji, I saw in even a dream also, they say, I saw. It's wonderful, we don't deny it. But just because you have a darshanam, you remain you, basically. One remains limited being. That Bhagavan is ultimately the self, that releases you, nothing else. And without jnanam, these powers and Ishwar darshanam appearing before the person and all that will not give liberation. So clear, This is so clear. And then, of course, we saw verse 110, but here we can again refer, Yasya dvayam asti. Well, person who has completed both the types of tapas, initially, well, before coming to Vedanta, he has done severe austerities, etc., may have a power like Vyasacharya ji or Shankaracharya ji, etc. So, power who has done such, this term of tapas might have some powers. And then other type of tapas also will be there, the shamaha, damaha, etc. Then they will gain jnanam also. So yasya dvayam. Dvayam means this, both the types of tapas are there. Then definitely they will have both extraordinary powers and jnana. But only ekaikam api tatah kurvan. While the certain people have just done austerities, they will gain only relevant phalam, and that is extraordinary power. And then people who have done samadhi, etc., well, they will gain jnana. So that is a relevant phalam. And this person, the jnani, definitely is a ordinary person, totally ordinary. Totally ordinary. His routine is almost a routine of a ajnani. Yeah, there's no difference at all. Totally ajnani. Totally he's ordinary. And he's told to remain an ordinary person. Na prashtam kasyachit bruyat na cha anyayena pruchhatah. Jadaval lokam acharet. Third part I have forgotten, quarter. Jadavat lokam acharet. This jnani should conduct himself in the world jadavat, like a ajnani, exactly like ignorant person he should behave. He should not show his jnanam, etc. If he shows jnanam, he has really not gained jnanam, frankly speaking. If you have to show something, definitely you are feeling a lack within without show off. If you are feeling lack within, where is a question of I am Brahman, etc. So the person, once who gain this knowledge, he doesn't show. If he asks, so na prushtam kasyachit bruyat, aprushtam kasyachit na bruyat. Well, if nobody has asked you any question regarding this knowledge, etc., na bruyat. He should not start talking, giving discourse. Nacha anyayena pruchhatah. Anyayena. Somebody has asked question, but you understood his motive. His motive is to judge your knowledge, etc., or just to put you in some kind of a corner. If you understand that this is the motive, well, you are not obliged to answer. Yeah. You just say that let's have a coffee and go. That's fine. No. But Swamiji, he doesn't care. Really, I tell you, he just doesn't care. Not that out of some bitterness, etc. He just doesn't care, understanding the whole thing with him. Really. Therefore, he should not even answer this anyayena pruchhatah. And well, he should conduct himself as jadavat, as a ignorant person. That's how many people ask, the big great Mahatmas, the routine. Swamiji, what is the routine of that Mahatma? They want to know there is something special. Maybe they may be sitting in the morning 3 hours in meditation and doing something special types of pujas. So people go to Mahatma's place and they try to see what kind of a devatas they worship. Really, I'm telling you. When they visit certain kutiyas of a Mahatma, they try to see something special they want to see. That they must be worshipping some special deities, etc. And they must have some special routine also. No, not at all. Even sometimes ordinary people may be doing this Ekadashi and other things, and he just taking a 1 cup of buttermilk and whole day nothing else. But this person eats even thrice also in a day. No change, just ordinary person. Whole change has occurred here. Whole change is here. No external change, no change physically also, nothing. And you know the jnani, so I have not to talk. Anyway, so he doesn't require any vidhi nisheda, no sadhana. That's it. He has not to retain moksha, not to acquire. Of course, there is no question of acquiring moksha because this is in form of oneself. And if it is being in one form of oneself, there is no question of retaining also by any means. So, no vidhi nisheda. Then in that verse 111, as I told you last time, that Purupakshi doesn't want to give up. So, well, Purupakshi, who is he somehow he's a proponent of this extraordinary powers in a jnani, etc. And also, well, he's a proponent of it since, well, certain severe austerities also. So, and then he said, but don't you know that the people generally respect this, severe austerities, and people respect extraordinary powers, etc. So, if you come to know that the person is doing severe austerity, sitting in a 2 hours in a meditation, etc., and other kind of a certain fasting and all this he is doing, and well, he has certain kind of miraculous power, extraordinary power, then people will respect. This gnani keeps eating and he doesn't do any meditation, doesn't even follow any vidhi nisheda of the shastra, nothing, keeps moving here and there, and even doesn't talk also if it is not asked and all that. So, well, nobody would give him a respect. That kind of way, now the Purupakshi is asking this kind of a question. So, people won't respect. Purupakshi says, Samarthya hina. Samarthya means he doesn't have any samarthya, he doesn't have any extraordinary power. He's just an ordinary person like a jnani. And vidhi varjita. At least that jnani, suppose he is a Vaidika, maybe following certain rules. Right? Vidhi nisheda must be following. Whereas this person even doesn't have that kind of attitude. He has not that kind of awareness also that to follow a certain vidhi nisheda. Free from he is even free from all the strict following of the shastra. So, I mean, he doesn't achara anushtanam, etc., varnashrama, etc., even sannyasa ashrama also he doesn't have. So then who will give this respect? If he suppose someone asks to this person, what are you doing in a day, etc., and he says, well, I just eat and I walk and I just sit and etc., and I lie down and sleep 8 hours. So who will give this respect to this person? So but you should know that the person basically all these things within nisheda, etc., all the so-called austerities, etc. So I mean simple austerities also were relevant before moksha, like our shamaha damaha, etc. They were relevant for moksha, and now they are not relevant at all. And well, definitely, so he doesn't have this thing in his routine. So even in sannyasis, this is a case actually. Frankly speaking, sannyasis, I told you there are two types of sannyasas. Like people we don't have any danda, etc. So basically, dandi sannyasis are there who have a danda, etc. And there are certain sannyasis they do not have a danda. Those who have danda, they have all vidhi nisheda. They have a chaturmasyam also, and they follow very vigorous, very rigid vidhi nisheda. Once you have a danda, you can't take bhiksha to every place. You have to take bhiksha to a particular place only. And if it is that place is not there, you should have your own arrangement, etc. So, and you have to do puja of this danda, and so many achara, anushtanam, etc. are there. Extraordinary pujas are there. Chaturmasyam in the first month, in the Chaturmasyam, in the first month there are certain special type of pujas, and then special type of food he has to take. In the second month of Chaturmasyam, he has some other type of pujas, and he has to take a certain different type of food. Even acharas also during Chaturmasya, well, will be different. And another type of a sannyasi, like other without danda, right? Now, if just an onlooker is there who is seeing both this sannyasi, to whom this person will give respect? Naturally, the person who has danda and who follows all this vidhi nisheda and all acharas, etc., right? Who is doing achara anushthana, naturally he will be respected. And this person, even though he has a jnanam, this other sannyasi, he has a jnanam, but people will not respect. That kind of a thing it is, we have to understand here. So, yatibihi nindya. So, yati means sannyasis, dandi sannyasis. Well, this basically, well, yatibihi samarthya hinaha Nindya, yet Vidhivarjitaha. Samarthya, he doesn't have extraordinary powers. Vidhivarjitaha, he doesn't follow any Vidhi Nisheda. Yatibihi Nindya. Then other sannyasis who are following all this Vidhi Nishedas, etc., though by them, this Jnani who doesn't follow all this may be, he may be criticized. Well, so then, the Acharya asked this question, Tat tapaha api anyehi nindya. Suppose such a sannyasi who is following severe austerities and everything, if he criticizes this Gnani, maybe sannyasi, may not be sannyasi, well, he is criticized by those sannyasis, then definitely we should, Vidyaranya says, those sannyasis who are following severe austerities, they are also criticized. They are criticized by other sannyasis who may be following little more rigorous Vidhi Nisheda, etc. So they are criticized by them as well as such sannyasis or who are following this severe austerities. They are criticized by ordinary people also. How? This is a publicity drama, they will say. Yeah, it's a publicity drama, and they will also say this person is just pretending, he is just a shallow guy. People say, because this is how the thing is. Everybody is criticized by everybody actually. We should know this. Everybody is criticized by everybody. No one is left in this world. No one is left. I tell you, all gurus were criticized by their own disciples. No, in one or other circumstances, I am making this open statement with a total conviction, not to blame anybody. I am telling you, this is how human mind is. A given thing is not conducive, he would not hesitate to criticize his own guru teacher from whom he is learning for many years, and criticize to another student about his own teacher. Or both the students are of the same teacher, both do the ninda of the teacher. All this is going on. And therefore, Purvapakshi, you says, well, this person has no extraordinary powers, he doesn't follow Nisheda, he doesn't follow. Then this such Yatibihi, such sannyasis are following certain severe austerities, they will criticize this person. Well, he says the person who is following severe austerities also is criticized by other person who is following severe austerities, or may be criticized by the person who is not following any severe austerities by saying this person is simply doing a publicity drama. What will you do? And therefore, tat tapaha. Tat tapaha means the tapaha of that austerity of the person, of that yati, well, is criticized, nindyate, is criticized by anyehi, by other people. Anisham, often it is criticized. And who are those people who criticize these yatis? Well, bhogalampataihi. Those who are given to sense pleasures, they cannot stand any person who is doing severe austerities. They have to put his all austerities into some publicity drama or some kind of pretending the things or some stunt, etc. Then only they will feel comfortable. They will have to do it. So bhogalampataihi, anyehi bhogalampataihi, tat tapaha api. Their austerities, yati's austerities also is criticized. Nindyate. Anisham, often, not just once. So the people who are given to sense pleasures, they will look down upon the austere people. And therefore austerity, the person who are following austerities, if he criticizes this our Jnani, he doesn't have any samarthya, he doesn't have any powers, he doesn't follow any Vidhi Nisheda like that, or any other manner. He is a very ordinary guy like that. If they criticize, well, we don't bother. Because the people who are following severe austerities, they don't feel obliged to answer the other the people who are given to sense pleasures. They don't listen to them. They keep doing what they are doing. Therefore, while these people also criticize our Jnani, well, we definitely we won't care. We won't care for that. Means ordinary Jnani doesn't bother about uh, uh, by others who are looking down upon himself. Therefore, Vidyaranya wants to convey what matters ultimately is not external thing. What matters is only internal clarity about a certain fact. That is what the maturity is. What is the goal of life is a maturity. That's what I said. Maturity is this. You are aware of the fact being an adult. You are aware of the fact and you are alive to the fact. That's it. That's the goal of life. Yeah, because basically one is growing in an adulthood. Physically one becomes adult, but emotionally not. No, because one, unfortunately, no one is born as an adult. Everyone is born as a child, and definitely as a child you have a child's perception. And in child's perception, one thing is very common: not able to accept any fact. He will cry for anything. Knowing anything falls down or even, breaks, he starts crying. He or she starts crying. Because what is breakable will break, or what is losable will be lost. The father gives a good advice, etc., as if he is very much mature to the child. And we don't say the child has a childishness, because we say he is child, therefore he will cry when he doesn't understand the facts. He is not able to accept the facts. But the same person, after 30 years, well, he has become now physically adult, but emotionally he is the same guy. He also doesn't accept facts. If someone is given a promotion in the company and given a more increment, this fellow also throws, his own job and puts himself into trouble and come home, resigning. Same issue. So basically, idea is ultimately one has to become emotionally mature, and that is to be initiated. Other than the human being, well, everyone is automatically physically mature and emotionally mature, because they are programmed in that way. So that is how we never say a cow is emotionally mature. We never say that. So a cow which is physically adult also is emotionally adult. That is the goal of life, and that's how when such a cow dies after giving a offspring, etc., and serving some purpose in the world, so we say, well, cow has fulfilled its purpose. That's it. But a human being doesn't. No. And so, just because of this emotional immaturity, the childish, we say childishness. We say the person who resigns like this, well, we say he's a childish. When a child doesn't accept any fact, we don't say he's childish, because that's how the child is. So, this is how we should understand. So, basically, this ultimate fact is what? I am Brahman. And you are alive to the fact. You have owned up the fact. And that is the goal of life, ultimately. First, emotional maturity is, well, which makes you adhikari for jnanam, and which makes you ready for further understanding the facts about the self, etc., and own up the facts also. So, so this is internal clarity, internal maturity, internal adulthood is very, very important. That's the goal of life ultimately. And that's how we say Jnani is, we never say Jnani is childish. Jnani is a child, like we say, definitely. Pandityam nirvidya balyena tishthaseth, we say that. So Jnani is a child-like, and we discussed also, he is free from judgment about others, and etc., etc. So, but he is highly mature, emotionally mature. One who is emotionally mature, because one is one's emotion, ultimately. One is not one's plans. One is not one's wisdom or one's knowledge. One is one's emotion. Therefore, whatever the knowledge we have from Bhagavad Gita or from anything, ultimately in our day-to-day transaction doesn't come into the being, because ultimately who relates to the world is an emotional being, actually. And that is where some people have a emotional maturity, so they are able to handle their emotion. Some people are not able to handle the emotion and puts themselves into trouble. And that's how the person who is not having a emotional maturity, like a person who is angry, a person who is sad, or a person who is jealous, we say, well, this person is definitely emotionally immature, we say also. So emotional maturity is Emotions are there. People think somebody, this person is an emotional person. Hey, everyone is an emotional person. You are your emotion. That's it. And that is the one who relates in the world is this person only. And well, but some has a maturity, some doesn't have a maturity. Anyway, so verse 112. भिक्षावस्त्रादिरक्षेयुर्यद्येते भोगतुष्टये अहो यति त्वमेतेषां वैराग्यभरमन्थरम्. So, as I told you, this Purapakshi doesn't want to live. So, he says, well, Jnani should not be an ordinary person. We are not able to accept whatever Vedanti. He must be extraordinary person. He must have practiced certain severe austerities, and he must have followed all the acharas, etc. And perfectly should have many siddhis also. And if they are there, then more followers also will be there. And so and then he says, Bhiksha Vastradi Rakshayuhu. Well, he gets a better Bhiksha and better Vastra, etc. So Pura Pakshi says, Ete means this, who have got this Vidhi Nisheda, the person who has got the Vidhi Nisheda, and also certain severe austerities, Rakshayuhu. Well, such a person must be able to secure Rakshayuhu. He must be able to secure what? Bhiksha Vastradi. Bhiksha Vastram Adi Padad money. Etc. So, well, he can get more money, he can get good bhikshas, beautiful bhikshas, he can get all good vastras, and bhoga for what? Bhoga tushtaye, for enjoying all the bhogas. This ordinary jnani, he gets ordinary bhiksha, ordinary vastram, and may not be having much money, etc. Then what is the use of this? Huh? Yeah. So for that sake, well, he should practice all certain austerities. So people will automatically attracted, and this person will get bhiksha and vastram and money and all that. Vidyaranya says, if a person takes sannyasa for such comfortable life, aho yatitvam etesham, well, wonderful indeed his sannyasa, or wonderful indeed his vairagya status. Great indeed is Vairagya, etc. Because he is following a sannyasa dharma and austerities for solely comfortable life, bhiksha, vastram, and money, etc. So, Vairagya Bhara Mantharam. Mantharam means worthless. Bhara means abundance. It's actually, he is doing a mockery. What a Vairagya of this person. Well, what a amount of, what in abundance this person has a vairagyam. It's a mockery. If you take a sannyasa for all other purposes other than moksha, it's all useless. If you take a sannyasa and then establish a pharmaceutical company or any other thing, it's useless. If you take a sannyasa and keep doing yogasana and do pranayama and do all the yoga camps and all that, it is totally useless. Sannyasa stands for knowledge, just read Bhashyam. And even though Bhashyakara, sometime really, to be honest with you, Bhashyakara really means a formal sannyasa for the Jnanam, I'm telling you now. But because you are quite close to me, so I'm telling you. But we generally always do little ulta. So sometimes he goes to that extent. But in general, what is required is a sannyasa. If you take a sannyasa for any other purpose other than the moksha, means jnana, then definitely purpose of taking sannyasa is useless. Anyway, so here now ultimate conclusion is tapas for austerities, etc. has no connection with the moksha. We have to take this much in this. 130. वर्णाश्रमपरान् मूढाः निन्दन्त्वित्युच्यते यदि देहात्ममतयो बुद्धं निन्दन्त्वाश्रममानिनः. So in verse 111, Second line says, Nindyate tat tapaha api anyaihi anisham bhogalam pataihi. As we said, the austerity of the these people, yatis, etc., who are doing great austerities, etc., anyaihi bhogalam pataihi anisham nindyate. So, it is criticized, austerity, etc., is criticized by the people who are just having a sense pleasures, who are given to sense pleasures. By them, is this austerity is criticized as some stunt or publicity stunt, etc., or some pretendance or anything. They criticize like that. That is explained, that second line is explained further here. So it is connected here. 113th verse is connected to that second line of 111. Because these people definitely look down, these materialistic people, they look down upon austere people connected to this austerities, etc. So for that, the people who are following the austerities, severe austerities, definitely they are for powers, etc., they are doing, etc., for material benefit only ultimately. Though they criticize now these people who are given to sense pleasures. How? Mudaha varnashrama paran nindantu. Mudaha means these people who are given to sense pleasures, those let worldly people, well, varnashrama paran nindantu. Nindantu means let them criticize. Let these people who are given to sense pleasures, let them criticize, mock. Who? Varnashrama paran, who are following with Nisheda, who are doing austerities. Well, we don't care. I mean, so these austere people are saying that we don't care. Let these people who are given to sense pleasure, let them criticize us, let them mock us. So same way, ordinary jnani also doesn't bother about the criticism coming from these austere people who are following Vidhi Nisheda. They will criticize jnani because he is not following Vidhi Nisheda. So, well, jnani also says, let them criticize me, no problem. So, ashrama maninaha. Ashrama maninaha means one who says that I belong to so and so ashrama and following Vidhi Nisheda. So, that is how Vidyaranya gives a very beautiful, give several beautiful words here. Ashrama maninaha means one who believes in varnashrama, means one who says I belong to so and so ashrama, grihastha ashrama, etc., or sannyasi, etc. So let austere people, ashrama maninaha means this, let austere people who follow, ashrama maninaha nindantu, means let austere people who are following this Vidhi Nisheda criticize. Who? Buddham Jnani. What will they argue? Well, we are traditional sannyasis. I told you, I gave you example of a dandi sannyasi. We are traditional sannyasi. We follow sannyas dharma perfectly. We are perfect people following all this Vedantic teaching. So, well, we are perfect sannyasis, etc. So, Vidyaranya laughs. He says, well, what are you studying? We are studying Vedanta. What Vedanta? What is that Vedanta? What is the message of Vedanta? Well, basically I am free from all varnas and ashrama. And what is your understanding about yourself? When you say I am a perfect sannyasi, I follow all the rules, etc. So you basically have, in your head the message of Vedanta has gone or not. Na varnaha, na varnashrama dharmaha, etc. Na me dharana, dhyana, yogadaya api, etc. Tadeko vashishya shiva kevalom, etc. It is very clear. The varnaha, the varnashrama dharmaha, etc. All this is centered on anatma basically. So if you say I'm a sannyasi and I follow all the rules, and that sannyasi who is an ordinary, he doesn't have any powers, he doesn't follow any Vidhi Nisheda, etc. Like that they criticize. Well, Vidyaranya says, what is your status about yourself? What is your understanding about yourself? You say I am a better sannyasi and all that. So you are basically dehatma mataya. Dehatma mati. Dehatma mataya is a bahuvachan. Dehatma mati. So deha alone is a atma. That is your mati. That's your understanding. So ashrama maninaha dehatma mataya buddham nindantu. Who says that I belong to so and so ashrama definitely reveals I am a deha, etc. Well, deha alone is atma. Well, such people Buddham, Jnani, who is an ordinary, who doesn't follow Vidhi Nisheda, etc., well, Nindantu, let them criticize. They are, so this is how it has been said here. Just as Mudaha, the people who are given to sense pleasures, they criticize this people who are following Varnashram Dharma, etc., Vidhi Nisheda, etc. Then these people say, well, let the people who given to sense pleasure, let them criticize us. We don't bother. Same way, now this people who are following Vidhi Nisheda, maybe a sannyasi, may criticize the jnani, maybe sannyasi, may not be sannyasi, just criticize. So, or generally, sannyasi criticizes sannyasi. Sannyasi may not criticize a grihastha. But one sannyasi who is following all the Vidhi Dharmas, etc., Vidhi Nisheda, having a danda and all that, doing Chaturmasya properly and all that, they may criticize, such people criticize. Swamiji, but do you know any case? Yeah. And Puja Swamiji narrated once this. It happened in Uttarakashi, how that sannyasi, who in fact, one who is having a danda, and he literally insulted other sannyasi. And then it has become a little issue, and then that the sannyasi said, well, I have a right to criticize because I am a Brahmana sannyasi. Honestly, Puja Swami said that. I am a Brahmana sannyasi. Dehatmati. Sannyasa meant for ultimately gaining moksha, jnanam. What is that Atma? Brahmana sannyasi, etc. is Atma. Anyway, this is how it is. Very. Puja Swamiji, at that time he was, I think, a brahmachari. I think he was not a sannyasi. But he had a plan of taking sannyasa. And then he saw this also. Swamiji said that has created a big impact in his mind. Let's go to 140. Taditham tattva vijnane sadhananupamardhanat jnaninam charitum shakyam samyak grajyadi laukikam. Thank God, diversion is over. We have come back to our main highway now. But this has taught lot. Between this 108 to 113 is a diversion topic about extraordinary powers and how should have become jnani should have all this, etc. And we made clear that the powers, etc., has nothing to do with the moksha, etc. Taditham, itham means in this manner. Tattva vijnane sati. Well, after clearly understanding Mahavakya and claiming moksha as my nature, well, he doesn't require any sadhanam, any means for moksha. So, even sadhan, chatushtaya, sampatti, etc. also is dismissed. Because, see, what is moksha is one's own nature, right? If what is what is nature is always unconditional. So there is no condition for a fire to be hot. Fire is hot because if you are trying to find some condition, you will not be able to find. So, same way the self is free, unconditional. And therefore, well, if you understand that I am ultimately free, Atma is moksha, Atma is free. So freedom is unconditional actually, one's own nature. In that case, once you understand that, then you don't require any condition, including sadhan chatushtaya sampatti, to maintain or something that, to retain that. Yes, before understanding this, please understand, sadhan chatushtaya sampatti is not meant for moksha. Sadhan chatushtaya sampatti is meant for a certain purity of the mind. That's a condition not for moksha. Please understand this. You may stretch. If that is not there, well, you will not get moksha, you will not be able to understand, or even if you understand, you gain jnanam, you will not be able to own up. Fine, that's fine. But sadhan chatushtaya sampatti is a condition for moksha. If someone says, that's a wrong thing. If that is the condition for moksha, even if person understand and gain moksha, one's own nature, he has to maintain it, because if that goes away, moksha goes away. Please understand. So that is not the thing. So in everything, all Vidhi Nisheda, Sadhan Chatushte Sampatti, all values, etc., everything has a place, of course, for gaining a certain qualification, etc. And in that, that's how there is a variation. That is how some people who are doing yoga, I mean, comes through Patanjali yoga, etc. And you don't find in their life doing karma yoga and all these things, but they have certain purity. So, then those people also will be able to gain knowledge. Some people are very moral in their conduct, etc., and they have certain purity and they may gain. Some people do karma yoga, etc., and definitely, I mean, active, I mean, and gain purity. So therefore, in that there are variations. Some people even may have a lot of Ishwar bhakti in form of worship and japa and all that, and gain a certain purity, and they may be able to also understand. So please understand this. All, of course, we can put everything in a karma yoga. That's the other thing, but this thing has a connection to moksha, no? Because it is already, you are free. If a person doesn't do anything, even he doesn't come to Panchadashi class, he doesn't like the word V of the word, I mean, the letter V of the Vedanta, he is free. He is already free. Only thing he has to know. To know well, he has to mold himself in a proper shape by which he will be able to understand it. He has to qualify himself. That's that. So, because everyone is free. Purnamadah Purnamidam. And therefore you are free and everything else is also free. The world is Purna. There is no need. Manipulating world is not for the sake of manipulation of the world. Manipulating world is for one's own need. One definitely manipulates the world for one's own need. The world need not be manipulated. If world requires to be manipulated in order to make better and better, perhaps our understanding of world is not proper. So, Purnamadah Purnamidam. The world is a manifestation of Purnam and it is Purnam. So, definitely, Purnasya Purnamadaya. You know, Purnat Purnamudachyate and Purnasya Purnamadaya. From Purnam has come. So, first Purnam is Karanam. What comes out, the Karyam, world also, Upanishad says it is Purnam. Therefore, still it is the same Brahman. Therefore, the all names and forms are Mithya. Anyway, my point is basically, so this Vedanta basically doesn't manipulate the world. Doesn't have, or based on our need only we manipulate. Since we are lacking something, we are in a need, we definitely feel that, well, something in the world which is external may help me to gain a peace or security or a joy, etc. So basically, for our fulfillment, I had to definitely manipulate the world. That's a wrong understanding. People understand this thing, but sometime before understanding, a lot of time goes away. Anyway. So basically, Tattva Vijnani Sati, it means in this manner, well, after clearly understanding this Mahavakya and claiming moksha is my nature, well, you don't require any sadhanam. Anyway, and that's how, after grasping this clear message of Mahavakya, well, this person doesn't require any means to retain moksha, etc. And that's how he doesn't follow Vidhi Nisheda. I mean, doesn't follow, please understand. Means he will not have a licentious life. Automatically he will be in that. But there is no deliberation. Oh, what Shastra says, oh, I should follow it. Oh, I didn't follow, I'm sorry. There is no sorry in that. There is no sorry, etc. So all this is there when there is a kartrutvam. And later, well, his behavior, etc., will be depending upon one's own prarabdha vasana, etc. Sadrusham cheshtate sasyaha prakutehe jnanavan api. Jnanavan api prakrutehe sadrusham cheshtate. That's it. Jnanavan, one who is a jnani also goes by his prakriti. He has come along with the prarabdha. So jnani is free to do what he likes to do. He may involve in vyavahara, including meditation, or he may drop all the vyavahara. So Tattva Vijnani Sati, when knowledge occurs, Jnaninam Charitum Shakyam. Charitum. Char means here to move means the activity. So the Jnaninam Charitum Shakyam, Shakyam, possible. Well, for him, for Jnanis, Jnaninam, for Jnanis, Charitum Shakyam, well, it is possible that the Jnanis will definitely engage themselves into activities. There is no reduction. Oh, well, he has gained knowledge. Now, definitely, activity should be reduced. Otherwise, knowledge will go away. No, no, no. What you know. It will not go away. Right? You attend a class, whole class, and then you take food, etc. And you did not remind yourself 2 plus 2, 4. And then, well, at the end of the day, you felt, oh, today I did not remind myself 2 plus 2. What happened? Whether it is 4 or 5 or 8, it doesn't happen. Knowledge is knowledge. Once it occurs to you, well, in that case, it went off. So, well, it will remain. And so, depending upon his prakriti, well, he may engage in the activity. To the extent of what? Rajyadi Laukikam. So, Rajyadi Laukikam means even though he has to rule the kingdom, and that we know the example, I have not to give you. So, even though ruling of the kingdom, etc., is utterly the activity, such an activity, well, he is able to do it. And Samyak, very effectively, Rajyadi Laukikam Shakyam, Charitum Shakyam. So, effectively he does. And we know the example of a king Janaka, who gained knowledge at the same time, was effective as a king. He ruled the kingdom very well. That's how this, even in 12th chapter, if you remember, our Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan has used word, a very nice word for Jnani, and that is Dakshaha. So Dakshaha word is used. So he will do it. Why? But why he is able to do? Because what obstructs the effectiveness of the activity has gone. That is why they become effective. What affects that? Any activity is affected by anxiety. That's it. Very first thing is anxiety. Anxiety, by the way, little anxiety is always good to do better. I'm telling you. Little anxiety, concern, a little concern about a given thing which you are going to do is really good. It helps you to make you more effective. Concern should be there. But then the level of that anxiety increases. And in that anxiety, what happens is a little concern is there, and you build a certain loop of thoughts. You're now not deliberate. You build a certain loop of thoughts. And in that loop of thoughts, you are lost. And therefore, a given activity is very small activity, and you have a concern also, now looms very large. And at a certain point, you feel that you are not able to do that activity because it has loomed very large to you, and you feel you are not able to do. That creates a bigger issue. Yeah. This is how the anxiety ultimately leads to depression also, for a length of time if it remains. And depression is no way a welcome thing. It's a horrible thing. Anyway, our people sometimes say, what depression? He is very fine. No. You have to literally take care of the person. It's a really bigger issue. One should not take it lightly to that extent. But little anxiety is okay. It's a little concern about the given thing which you want to do. Like suppose you are inviting our Puja Swamiji or something. Just imagine. Then you want to do it best. So that best comes out because you have certain concern. That's really good. But a degree, then what happens? Yeah, but Swamiji comes at the door, and suppose if this is not there, or that coconut which is there on the Purna Kumbha, it may fall, then what will happen? And this, because my hands will shake, and this. That's it. Now you build a thought, which has no relevance at all, It may not happen. It may happen because you have already built us so much. You have built us so much. If you have not thought like this, well, perhaps the thing would have been little better. So little concern helps you to do better. But if you build a loop around, and if you build, you are not deliberate to build, it will be built. Yeah. That's how the reactions are like this. All the reactions happen. You are not deliberate. Right? So this is also, we are not deliberate. That's how there is no anger which is deliberate, right? We know, we tell that. Anger happens. So this also happens. Anyway. So, because this person's activity is not obstructed by anxiety, fear, stress, etc. Fear is there as well as long as you have something losable. Here one Acharya explains like this, and I really liked it. I'm sharing with you. And there is, so this person, well, has nothing to, which, I mean, it definitely what you are going to acquire, you may not acquire, or what is there, you may lose. That's, and then definitely that fear, etc., is there. But for such person, Jnani, etc., well, there is nothing which is losable. So, that's how even our that Acharya gives an example of a children's and parent, etc. Well, parent, has a certain fear from the children that they will lose the love of the children. Children also may have a fear from the parents that they will lose the love of the parents. So all that is there. So name, fame, etc., all losable. Respect is losable. Jnani holds on to only one thing which is never losable, and that is the self. So there is no fear at all. I mean, a lot of things can be said, but I am just saying there is no fear, there is no anxiety, etc. So definitely sadhana anupamardanat. Well, so he has a lot of sadhanam for doing any lokasangraha, etc. He has a mind, he has a body. Puja Swamiji used to say all this is a basically luxury for the person. So he is full. Being a full, well, he desires. That desire itself is a luxury. Well, he emotes, etc. Being full, he emotes. So emoting, etc., is not for gaining certain fullness. Emoting, etc., is basically is out of fullness, and therefore it's a luxury actually. So all this is sadhana, means all this mind, body, etc. Devotees also anupamardanam. Well, anupamardanam means a non-destruction. Upamardanam means a destruction. So they are not destroyed, means they are available for this person. But Jnanam has destroyed only Ajnanam. Other sadhanams are there, and with that he may do everything, which is of course a luxury. So anyway, so this is regarding the, and therefore his activity is basically free from a fear, anxiety, stress, etc. Further we will see in next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.